identity refers to the varying social power within a colonial society. This term encompasses the binary social relation of us and them, a phrase used to view the non-Western world as inhabited by the other. Joanne Sharp said in her book, Geographies of Postcolonialism, that neocolonial discourse of geopolitical homogeneity assigns an inferior position to decolonized peoples. This distances the people to an imaginary place such as the Third World. Peter Drew, the same artist who created the poster Real Australians Say Welcome, created another work, the Aussie Posters. While these posters have presented images of many different people, the main subject is Monga Khan. The context of his artwork is that he wants to celebrate the people who managed to be exceptions to the White Australia policy because they were necessary in building Australia's economy at the time. However, some critics believe that he should not try to project his own ideas about a particular culture or persons that he himself is not a part of. Does Peter Drew, a white Australian, have the right to create artworks about his ideas of a culture that he wasn't a part of?
Problem.
Well, I don't think Australia's Indigenous people...
Can you stop? I'm really tired of non-Indigenous peoples making commentaries about Indigenous Australia because we've spent yourself included, we have spent 230 years of not being included in this constitution. We share sovereignty with the Crown. The Queen still owns some of our traditional lands. We're still begging to protect sacred sites that are over 80,000 years old from mining companies, from gas companies. We want to be the author of our own destinies. We want to be the voice because we are tired of non-Indigenous Australia thinking they know what is good for us and thinking that they can be the voice for Aboriginal Australia. So they should all learn to keep their mouths shut and start engaging Aboriginal Australia into the conversation.
Okay. And where I see people doing harm to Australians, I will call it out.
I think he's a tit.
European history has deemed anyone who does not fit into a Eurocentric category as different. Gordon Bennett's self-portrait, But I Always Wanted to Be One of the Good Guys, 1995, challenges stereotypes and racial slurs occurring throughout the post-colonial era and how these influence identity. There are obvious visual divisions in the work, which is often how I'm made to feel about my own sense of self. I am has many possible answers. I don't know who I am in post-colonial Australia because my identity is always questioned. I'm asked not to be offended when someone tells me that I'm too fair or my nose is too Jewish to be Aboriginal.
Who are we? What sort of country do we want to be?
How do I gain an understanding of my own identity when I face disadvantages in so many aspects? I cannot speak my own language. I'm a member of the Darug Nation. When the colonists asked who we were, we gave them our word for people, Eora. We became the people and consequently lost our identity as Darug, but that is not recognised.
The Australian dream is rooted in racism. It is the very foundation of the dream. It is there at the birth of the nation. It is there in terra nullius, an empty land, a land for the taking.
It's not the job of the taxpayer to subsidise lifestyle choices.
Joan Ross's animations explore a contemporary Australian perspective on the effects of colonisation. She utilises a contrast between the distinct motive of fluoro colours and modern industrial imagery with natural Australian landscapes and animals in order to make statements about the impacts of colonialism in Australia, most notably in the works The Claiming of Things 2012 and Touching Other People's Butterflies 2013. An interesting example of this in The Claiming of Things is the fluoro fence which is dropped onto the land, which divides the indigenous people in the foreground from the land in which the Europeans have claimed in the background. The fence functions as a symbolic boundary of fear and a lack of recognition of the Aboriginal people and culture. When asked about why she used fluoro in her artworks, Ross said that she saw its use increase after 9/11 as both the symbol of colonisation and of fear. It is her connection between the modern and the historical that makes Ross's works interesting commentaries on post-colonial Australia, a place that Ross claims that you can't live in without considering the past.
I am calling a corroboree of all the natives of New South Wales to send a petition to the King in an endeavour to improve our condition. All the black man wants is representation in federal parliament. There is also plenty of fish in the river for us all, and land to grow all we want. 150 years ago, the Aboriginals owned Australia, and today he demands more than the white man's charity. He wants the right to live.